Hello, Core 3 topic students. This is Marcos, and this is our week 2 going to week 3 recap briefing video, where I just want to quickly go over what expectations are for our next week of class so that you can be best prepared and have your projects in good order. And first, I want to just say a quick thank you for a great week 2 and for all the work that was shared last night and for going with the split class idea. It seemed to work really well, and everyone had plenty of time. We didn't run out of time, and it was a good session overall. So I'm optimistic about kind of being more innovative about how we spend our time in class and doing other formats like that, like we will in our next week. So let's talk about the workflow for next week. We've got a few things on the list here. So first, we are now moving away from our initial exercises, are basically the research phase of our overall project for the first half of the semester. And we're now going into what's called the physical forms project, or otherwise known as a publication design project. And our next task for each of you is to pick up from all the research and conversations we've been having and now create a concept presentation specifically for your publication design, your physical forms project that brings out the vision of the project, showcases your intention for it, the planning for it in general, the format, the size, the pages, page numbers, the architecture of how the pages will be structured, and then delve into doing some of the design and showcasing the initial look and feel of your project. So that's going to be the main task for this week. We'll be doing that in the form of group presentations, half class group presentations on Tuesday and Thursday of next week. So half of you meet on Tuesday, half of you meet on Thursday. I'll talk about who's going where in a few seconds here. And then the other thing we have to do that's part of the layers of our class here is to continue with our cross-topic lecture series and to view the next video, which has been posted on the same Vimeo site called On Serial Publications, and to view that and be ready for a discussion. Here's a screenshot of the updated Vimeo page with the number 2 video here in the middle. And it's the same link, and I think I'll post it in the comments and then also send it in the email and Slack communications that I give with this video. So check that out from Garrett, and it's on Serial Publications, so it's well timed in terms of if you want some inspiration on how to approach the design of your piece. So check that out. We'll check that out early on today or this weekend to give you more information about how to plan your own publication project. And so as we delve into this next phase of creating our actual first piece of 2, let's not forget that we have begun this whole process with the prompt of beauty. And the prompt is here to serve as sort of a big picture North Star guiding light to kind of remind you what your overall objective should be, which is to look into yourself as the observer of reality, of the observer of the world, and to see what is it that speaks to you in a unique way. And all of you have taken that to task in your initial first rounds of exercises and in the research projects, and have built up concepts around that. But just a reminder that we're looking for what the universe is declaring to each of you. And I'll pop quiz here on the video, like to answer the question, like what is this cup here I'm holding? What is the state of this cup? Is it half full or half empty? And the answer for this project is it's going to be a half full cup, so that we have an optimistic vision for the world that we look at and how we interpret it in this project, and to put on that lens of beauty seeking as we make our project. So the way we talked about structuring this project on Tuesday was that we have basically 3 weeks. It's kind of 2 weeks, but 3 weeks to create this project. And that next week, week 3, we're going to break up the class in half and have the first group meet for reviews on Tuesday and the second group meet on Thursday. And you might be going, but no fair, Thursday people get more time than Tuesday people. Yes, that is true. And my answer to that is too bad. Like, that's just how we're going to do it. And we're going to find ways to give more time to other people, but they're, in other circumstances, but we just, in order for us to make work this way, there's going to have to be compromises like this. But the thing to know that the Tuesday people will have a certain expectation of how far along they should be, and the Thursday people will have a different expectation about how far they should be. So it really isn't unfair at all. And basically, either way, you're going to have extra time outside of class time to work and to utilize that time in a really productive way. And that's going to be up to you, like the responsibility to manage your time well. And then on week 4, we have one session where we'll do small groups on Tuesday of like 4 to 5 students meeting together at the same time, like we'll all meet in class together. And then Thursday is the final critique, but there's the emergency switch of possibly making the critique on a Tuesday of week 5 and making the Tuesday class the briefing for the next part on this Thursday. So let's see how things go, but that might be a nice little benefit to pull if we just need that extra weekend, extra few days. Okay, so here's the assignment. As we talked about on Tuesday, we're creating a concept development phase of our project where we're now taking the research and we're creating a concept for our publication, whatever form it's going to take. And first step is for you, if you haven't yet, to choose the format, to consider the best format to execute your theme or your concept into a physical form. And as we've talked about, the book seems to be kind of like the sort of major, flagship piece, and the magazine might be sort of second tier. And I think maybe I would move zine up, maybe even above the magazine, but posters, maybe the sort of the wild card one. And this is kind of up to you now. And even within these different formats, there's still the decision, like how big is the format, how big is the size, how many pages will it be, how will it be bound, and you have to consider all these things in your planning now, so that you have you create layouts that work in a way that when you print them, they can be assembled and trimmed or cut out or folded or all the above, and then bound in a way that's going to work. So do think about that in advance. Think about the pagination, think about how the book is going to work. Maybe even make a little dummy, something out of blank sheets of paper, and just construct something to just test it out to make sure what you're making makes sense. And then think about how you'll print it out, and what the format's going to be when you create the process of putting it together, and not have that be a nightmare. So basically what I want you to do in thinking about all these things is to create a deck. And Anna asked that whether the deck should be a new deck or should be built on the old deck. And I mean, the answer is kind of like a little bit of both. Like, I want the research and all the materials you put together for the first 2 decks to be part of this initial deck, but it's a lot. So probably you're making a new deck that has a sort of summary, or maybe there's a index in the back that has that information. Find a way that best suits you to be able to present this in a quick way without having to go through dozens of pages. But in general, let's consider it a new deck, a title slide with your name, the class name, and the assignment title, an introduction statement page that outlines what the assignment is about, at least this phase of the assignment. And again, utilize the text here or the text on Canvas for that if you need, and then present your proposed publication format. Find a way to communicate how you intend to the design for this piece to be, what it is, and how it will work physically. Create a set of thumbnail storyboard or a pagination map for your book that shows just how the book will be structured. And this might just be a set of little tiny spreads that have notes about what the intention for each spread will be, or you may even want to sketch on it and do quick drawings to showcase what it is that you're going to plan to design. And that, if you're able to think and work that way, that's awesome. So for sure do that. And then from there, start, then you have all this kind of, all these specifications figured out, begin the design process, begin to create initial spreads, covers, and begin to show, I don't know, 3 to 5 spreads, 2 to 3 covers, something like that. That gives us a good sense of what the book is about, gives you a good sense of book, and maybe it's not one design direction. Maybe you want to show, here's one way I can do it, and then do a whole nother set. That's another way, and that could be a conversation we have. You don't have to lock in exactly what it is right now, but do have it figured out in some way and limit your possibilities from going too far, particularly if you're changing the format. Like, I probably recommend sticking to the format and maybe looking at different design options within that format, how you handle things. So this is the time to have that conversation when we meet, and to be able to lock into what you're going to do and then implement the rest of it. And then, so showcase that. And then, of course, as you've all been beautifully and wonderfully doing, add that critical thank you page at the end. And the A making machine will go into high gear when it sees that. Okay, so here's how we're breaking up the groups. We'll keep the same people in the same groups. Those Tuesday people who thought they were so lucky that they got to go first and go home early, now will pay the price, and they will go on Tuesday. And those of you from group 2 who had to stay late and hang around maybe until the next session started, you get to go Thursday and you get extra time. But again, Tuesday you have less time, so a little less is expected. Thursday you get more time, more is expected. And then all of you, each of you, are invited to attend both classes fully. It's not like you're excluded from the class. You're welcome to come in on Tuesday. If you're a Thursday person, you're welcome to come in Thursday if you're a Tuesday person. And in fact, because you're doing half classes, I suspect we'll take maybe like 2/3 of the class time, 3/4 of the class time with this, and there'll be time left over at the end. And in that time, I will make myself available for meeting with anyone who's there, anyone who wants to talk, like we did on Tuesday, and can get more one-on-one time with me. So let me know if that's the case, and we can talk further about your project for sure. So I encourage you to utilize your class time, if by either coming through the class when you're not assigned, or even better, using it to vigorously work on your project. And I mean that, like, you're there to manage your time, but it's not like you're off. It's that you're getting time to use on your own to design, and I want you to take advantage of that as much as possible for sure. So we have the physical forms, project 1 on Canvas. On Canvas. And basically with this project, it's going to be, as the weeks go on, I'm going to keep adding to it because it's one assignment. So next week I'll just add to it with a new link for where you should post things, and I'll build over the next 2 more weeks to have this be the full 20-point project that it is. And then on Google Drive, there's a folder for this project 1 that you can put your presentations in. And I think I'm gonna update this name to say part 1, because then we'll have a few more for the other parts. Okay, so that's it for now. Thanks for listening, and make sure that if you have any questions, you reach out to me. If you want to share something, don't be shy. Send me an email, send me a Slack, and have a productive Friday, weekend, Monday, and then we'll see you either on Tuesday or Thursday. Thanks, everyone.